I'm Michelle Pasley. I'm a student currently at Salina Tech. Hopefully going to be a nursing student by next year. I made a decision a long time, about 2 years ago, to pursue my education. I had been a CNA for 20 some years, and I was just kind of tired of it. It felt like the hamster on the wheel. The little guy keeps running and never gets anywhere. So I just celebrated like my 42nd birthday, and the kids were asleep, and I was sitting at my kitchen table, and I had had all my bills out, and I was sitting there trying to figure out, how am I going to pay this bill and that bill, like robbing Peter to pay Paul. And in that moment, I said, I was working and I was making money, but it was just never enough. And I just looked at all them bills and I thought that I can't do this anymore. It was so stressful, and then I'd see my kids sleeping in their beds. Like, I've got to show them, and I never wanted my kids to feel that the same feeling that I felt in that moment. Like, you only have $100, but you have $200 worth of bills. What am I going to do? And then still feed them, and shoes and going to basketball and just everything. And I just had a gut check moment. And through all them tears, I woke up in the morning, and underneath all of them bills, this is a true story, underneath all them bills was an advertisement for Salina Tech nursing program. Like one of the random flyers you get in your junk mail that you just toss in the trash all the time. And I was like, you know what? I can't be a nurse unless I graduate high school. So I had to start somewhere, and I figured if I can make it and actually graduate high school and get my GED, the possibilities could be endless. So I started at Salina Adult Education Center, and while I was there, I got entered into an AOK medical pathway program with Kelly Mowbray, who's awesome.
AOK stands for Accelerated Opportunities Kansas. It's a partnership between community and technical education institutions and adult education programs in the state. Here in Salina, we have a partnership with Salina Area Technical College, currently in the medical pathway. So anybody who needs to earn their Kansas State high school diploma through the GED tests has an opportunity to come and enroll in GED. And while they're with us, they study GED, and then they can work on their CMA credential, CNA credential, and also take medical terminology. During that time, there's two major benefits to the student. One of them is that they get financial resources from the state of Kansas. All of their tuition and fees is paid for, the GED test is paid for, and they get the opportunity, which I think is most important, for one of the Salina Adult Education Center instructors to go to the Salina Tech classroom with them and make sure they are being most successful in a college classroom. After the AOK experience, a student will have earned their Kansas State high school diploma and possibly one or two credentials, and also have med terminology done. What I think is really great is Salina Tech has both the LPN and the RN programs now, and so I almost feel that we are a feeder program to help people get their medical foundation to start the LPN programs. So we do have a lot of potential nurses headed into the Salina community once they continue or complete their education with us. To get enrolled in an AOK partnership here in Salina, you would start here at the Salina Adult Education Center enrolling in your GED program. Once our instructors do an orientation, you will have an opportunity to both tour at the Tech College and meet folks in the Allied Health Program who will introduce you to what AOK is. When the students are ready and they have a reading and a math level that our teachers feel are ready to put them into a college classroom at the same time they're working on their high school diploma, the teachers will support our students in recommending them into the AOK pathway.
After I actually graduated in December with my GED, I took one test and I passed it. I took a second test and I didn't pass it, but so I just rescheduled the rest of them, and so I was done by December, and we graduated around June. Kelly Mowbray had contacted me maybe February, March, and asked me to write a speech for graduation. So I was very honored. I was shocked because I thought, why me? But, So it was awesome to have all 5 of my kids there watching their mother graduate, and then to be a speaker, you know, it's emotional, because I've come really, really far, and I've worked really hard to be here. And then proving to my kids, you know, that no matter what your age, what your obstacles, being a single mom, you know, and coming this far in my education, yeah, I've made my kids proud, and that's all I've ever wanted to do in my life. Because 5 years ago, I was working the same job, barely making ends meet. I didn't know when we were going to have our next meal. I was on welfare. I got food stamps, you know. I don't remember 5 years ago a Christmas that I didn't have to have financial assistance or sign my kids up for an angel tree. But that girl, if I was to talk to her then, I don't know. I'm so different now. Like, I'm proud of who I am, and I'm proud that I put my education first. And I just keep opening doors of opportunity, like sitting with you here now and being at Salina Tech. I'm so close to actually being a nursing student and graduating. I would have never, ever thought that I'd be here today. And if it wasn't for Salina Adult Education, that cornerstone, you know, and then having the medical pathway program, I probably would never, ever have thought about college. I would have stayed a CNA. You know, and I wouldn't lie to anybody and say that this has been easy, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. You know, but I would consider myself kind of special because, you know, I'm not everybody, I'm me. You know, that's what's going to make me a great nurse.